This is going to be a little about alien probes and related forms. So, a small perturbation puts constraints on a system that cause it to form a cluster of truth. This is the inside version. The constraints in turn affect the behavior of the cluster, so the constraints change their behavior. Eventually, the two find resonance and the ball kicks out information out into the environment. The ball can be placed in some existing field or left up to the observer. And so we take this ball, throw it in a field of resonance with another ball. And these two balls find their frequencies in common, find one common resonance, and then appear to kick off information. And they can behave like clusters. So there's a type of ball that is a cluster, and clusters, I've seen them recombine. They recombine. So if I throw this cluster in some resonant field with a ball there just for resonance, and I would say the perturbations on the points should be like passing points through some resonant field. And so those points could be identical chemical compounds, but they would develop the natural frequency with the balls of the larger size. And to the larger balls, this might look like noise, but the aliens argue it is in resonance. And so if it's just resonance, why do things come at strange times? Why can this thing eject truth? And the human escape for this is, you could say, frequency. But not all things happen with frequency in the sense of neatly determined intervals. But as we push resonance more and more, the timing should get better. The only thing we need are probes. But resonance, from what I'm gleaning, is too difficult for computers, or so much better with neural networks and living systems. So probes are alive, and the probes sit in the sky, and when an alien looks up at the sky, the probe dances around as he's watching it, and the two begin to build resonance. But probes, for some reason, are practically blind, and I think that keeps them on a spiritual plane of existence as a probe, as a neural network that can navigate without seeing, or can see by being observed. Yeah, probe can see by being observed. And that's maybe why they have this limitation. I don't know how they see, but they see somehow. But they aren't literally blind. What if they were literally blind? What if probes were just these places meant to hold souls and to carry people, not devolve down the wrong path? So I guess this limitation was put into them so that they function and learn and behave in the ways that those constraints give them. So if we're going to create life, we have to limit it. Limit function to ensure specialization. So these probes will go around the world, and they will build resonance between people and the probe and other people and the probe. So Mr. Gray may actually take a trip, and his knowledge might be shared through observations of the probe. Oh, and probes, they have this limitation, but they get this really, really awesome reward at the end. They have souls. Probes have souls, and they are very close to the metal. So they're really hardy, and they show up a lot, and people see probe souls and they think they're UFOs, and they were UFOs, and they are going to be UFOs in our future as people, but that's just how hardy their souls are, and they present themselves in reality even when probes aren't there, but probes have been here. And we will build them one day, and they will be very cool neural networks that work with resonance to allow us to go to question mark. What planet will we go to? Okay, but probes live an extremely long time, and don't know how they get them to live so long. One more point, if you inject lye into a ball, it can cause it to have uncharacteristic behavior with regard to the resonance. And this can produce so that you give it some discord, and it's a lie, and it kicks off a response. But then response is loosely resonant with lie, and thus we can recognize it if we can find this discord. Response is resonant with lie, and if we can reduce it all the way down to this is of greater or less stability than response equals lie. Because if we can determine if response equals lie, and we just return response the entire time, then we've essentially created a singularity. And so response can just be response, and there is no more lie. But if these systems are smart, they will make sure to maintain some separation. And if you inject a lie, then you maintain some separation. And it's also communication. So we could have a second object in the resonance, a second probe, and that probe could go lie. Lie is just but it's intending communication. So it's going to be lie that perturbs this system, or the object puts out into the system a random perturbation. That would be like throwing out an exclamation, or pounding your hands. So that's the kind of thing that injects some energy into a system that can eventually have the effect of bringing those systems into resonance. What did I just say? Oh, yeah, because this is a distinct object. This is a probe. So it is attempting to interact with reality, and it's doing that through its resonant movements. So this is intended to sort of hang in a state of resonance. And another resonant probe is going to begin to build resonance. It's going to want to communicate with the world. So it has a handle. That's what it is. Lie is a handle. But sometimes the system does lie. When I say lie here, I should just be saying some random action. And the whole point was that sometimes souls use this. Christ uses this. It's lie to mu. So Christ, I hate this word, vessel. So Christ injects lie into vessel, which influences system. And if he was good, he should get mu to system to mu. So there has to be this resonance built between soul, vessel, and system.